Enough with embrace debate. Pointless yelling at each other on ESPN and Fox, yet very little actual content. It's time for a change. A voice from the fan, for the fan. The most compelling topics in sports, all covered here. This is Corbet's Corner.
Okay, welcome in. We've got the Friday edition of Corbet's Corner here. We're talking Super Bowl, and I kind of wanted to start with, it doesn't feel like a damn Super Bowl week. This is usually Radio Row. People are heading to a city. Maybe it's Tampa Bay. Maybe it's because the Chiefs are in it for the second year and they're favored to repeat. It just doesn't feel like a Super Bowl week. I mean, I'm going to be jacked up when Sunday comes, but what do you guys feel like? It's kind of been it's cold. We just got some snow here in the Twin Cities, Soda. It's been a lackluster week. I'm just waiting for the weekend.
Yeah, me as well. Busy as you know. Sports bets haven't been too great, but Super Bowl, one of my favorite weekends of the year. It starts tomorrow it kind of started today. Took a snow day. Right.
Yeah.
I guess.
Ty, how you hanging in there? You're back in sports are coming back. So you're in terms of Minnesota, so you're back in the reffing game, but you're excited for a nice weekend here with Super Bowl?
I am. Yeah, no, I'm super excited for the Super Bowl. Had a good fantasy football playoff roster. I did an auction where it should come down to get the first place. So it should be a nice payday for me after Sunday. I think, you were talking about how it doesn't feel like Super Bowl week. And I think people are just coming down from that Pro Bowl, the virtual Pro Bowl that they had. And I know people were looking for Nickelodeon to have a broadcast here for the Super Bowl. Weren't able to strike the deal. But no, I think once the Super Bowl does obviously happen, I mean, with Tampa hosting the Super Bowl, I thought that there would be more people obviously jacked about it with Tampa hosting, Tampa being in it.
Dude, Radio Row is a ghost town, and part of that is the pandemic, but it's just sad. That's usually what's been, and maybe it's the changing of the times, but that's what used to be bustling. So how do you guys feel? I personally am going, and again, I've got, hedging how I'm somehow so uneducated where I'm going to lose money no matter what, but I like the Chiefs. I think they're going to win by 10. This is the time where you're going to be betting props. You're going to be looking at everything. We're going to be betting the Gatorade color. Are we going chalk here? Because here's the other thing is we've seen, and this is where I am skeptical. I remember when I first thought about sports betting, I think it was when we were all in college, Bradley, and Floyd Mayweather put like so much goddamn money on the Broncos when they just got blown the fuck out. So whenever you hear like Mattress Mac unloading on the Bucks, I saw another bet, couple mil on the Bucks. What are you guys thinking? I'm thinking the Chiefs offense. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a fun Super Bowl, but I think the Chiefs offense is too great. We'll start with Ty.
I personally think Tom Brady obviously playing some of the best football of his career, but I think the extra week, not having the Pro Bowl just like normal, where the guys for the Super Bowl don't go there. But I think this helps Mahomes. I think Mahomes was able to get a little bit more coverage. He wasn't as mobile in the AFC Championship game. And it's just so tough to bet against, one, the GOAT, Tom Brady, but it's also tough to bet against the Chiefs. So, but I honestly think the Chiefs are going to edge this one out. I think it's going to be anywhere in the 7 to 13 point range. So I might even look for one of those extra juice for the picking the point spread there for Landon. But I'm actually really intrigued here to see what Connor's analysis is on the game.
Yeah, without further ado.
I'll tell you what. The Chiefs' offensive line's a little banged up right now. We're going to have to see how they look on Sunday. Maybe the warm-up routine, see if the guys are getting some good stretches in out there. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know. I like the Bucks. I think Tom Brady's going to find a way to get her done. I mean, he's not playing the Giants, so we'll see.
Heady play. I actually love that analysis because I think that is the key where same thing against Rodgers. You saw him getting pressured early. If Mahomes is getting pressured, he's still maybe seeing stars from his injury, his concussion, though he's rushed through protocol. Bucks have a great defense. That's interesting too. So this number's at 3. That's a key number for the Super Bowl. Again, I might be looking towards Ty's way, where I might be playing something with a little better odds. Matt, how are you viewing the Super Bowl, which again is creeping up on us in a couple of days here?
All right, few things. I do like what Fred said. Daus, what's good? Fred said about the pressure. People forget Mahomes did not play that well last year in the Super Bowl. He did not really look that good for the first half, maybe 3/4 before he finally turned it on. Pressure can mess with anybody. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying Mahomes is going to be bad by any means, but you saw what Tampa Bay did to Green Bay. They got pressure, it threw off the rhythm, and they were able to get stops. If they forced a few turnovers, which is definitely possible, I like them there as well. The number's actually at 3.5 on one of my books right now. It's minus 3.5, minus 125, or plus 105. The points, Tampa Bay. So I have that big futures ticket. I'm considering my options of how I want to hedge. So I could basically like middle out by just taking KC money line.
Hold on, explain that. So you've got your Tampa Bay, what is it, 25-1 win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's if Tampa Bay wins, I have a 25-1 ticket to win 625. So I could bet KC money line to win 250, and it would be about the same. Yeah. But I'm considering taking Kansas City money line and Tampa Bay plus 3.5 because I'm writing out all the options, so I'll have.
Hey, it's the Super Bowl, man. You can do whatever you want.
I know. I'm going to be.
I'm definitely going to be taking Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce props. I had them in every single FanDuel we did in the playoffs. They continue to go over all their receptions, their yards. They're going to score. Yeah, it should be a fun game. I really do. The reason I said I might take that one with Tampa Bay, I really think they could win. I don't know. Crazier things have happened. It's hard to repeat. And
so
Tampa
hard
Bay's
to repeat.
Plenty capable.
And Brady's been proving it, throughout the playoffs. This would be an unprecedented run that he'd be having on road games. Again, we don't have the fans, but so we were just talking Mahomes. He was basically a Jimmy Garoppolo throw, in the last Super Bowl from losing. He wins MVP. They win the Super Bowl. Our resident Chiefs fan, Matt Daus, back with us here. We were just talking about how this week is kind of laid low, Radio Row's dead. People were doing virtual interviews. So the quotes that everyone hates anyway, we're not even searching out because it's over Zoom with bad audio quality. It's just kind of a weird, and the Chiefs have an opportunity to repeat. It's like, okay, they're back in it. How are you as a Chiefs fan kind of viewing this week and the build up to Sunday?
It's definitely weird. It in no way feels like it did last year at all. I don't know, like you said, if it's because the lack of everything happening during the week, because that's usually an awesome week, right? You get, quotes from everyone. You get like PMT guys trying to like break into the damn media days. You get, right. It's, it's weird. You get all of that, but it feels weird this year. And I think you're right. I think it is a little bit the fact that we were here last year. So the nice thing, I think, though, that I can see is that these guys are not, they're not really like riding high, like coasting on the fact that, we already did this last year. They seem pretty damn determined to go do it again.
Yeah.
If you kind of look at what was said earlier in the week, I'm sure it was a point made last week. Hey, whatever you say, don't say anything that, it's like, don't give them anything to work with. Like Tampa Bay, on the other hand, maybe have said a few things. I know our backup left tackle took exception to something that Jason Pierre-Paul said.
Yeah.
But I think that was just one thing. It was like, hey, don't go say anything wild. Just, put the work in this week and do your thing. So,
you like the Chiefs to repeat? Maybe you're biased, maybe you're not. You like them?
I think, I am. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried, though. I mean, how would you not be worried if you're going up against a guy who's went to 10
Yeah.
10 Super Bowls and won 6 of them. Like, I feel like we have everything there. And if you look at what Tampa Bay's had to run through in their first, 2 games, the first game against Washington was pretty ugly.
Yeah, against Heineke, right?
Right. Like, they won, but it was pretty ugly. The Saints game was also pretty ugly. Like, I mean, in the damn first half, Jameis had just about as many yards as him and what's his name? Fucking, like, put together in the first half. And then last week, I guess now 2 weeks ago, he threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah, he didn't play well against the Packers.
Defense won him the game. So I don't know if it's not there right now or what, but if our secondary comes and kind of does what they have the whole year, I like our odds. And one other thing that I like is actually, like, Tampa Bay's secondary loves to, like,
Over pursue.
yes, jump routes, over pursue everything. And against a lot of guys, that'll work. But against Mahomes, I'm not sure that that'll work.
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
if you jump a route and you get roasted by, like,
He's going to make
Tyreek
that throw.
or anybody, that's.
So I've got the Chiefs by 10. I like it in a shootout. I like the cover. Again, it was kind of like last year. I was on the Chiefs when they were favored against the 49ers. It was a late cover. It looked like the 49ers could have won, but Garoppolo misses that throw. Just quickly around the Zoom, we'll go Ty. Who do you like? Your pick?
I got Chiefs.
Chiefs. Matt, you're going Chiefs. Matt
Yeah.
Crusen.
I don't know. I gotta figure it out. I'm gonna think about it.
All right, Eddie Cordts, what do we got
We're
here?
going Bucks,
Representing
baby.
Bucks. You're going Bucks. All right, I like it, going against the grain. All right, I want to wrap up with some baseball because I think the offseason has picked up a little bit here quietly as we're wrapping up the football season. Let's start with Ty Dalsin here, our resident Twins fan. Twins are I'm excited. Baseball here. I'm sorry. Go. My mic's back. I've been to Target Field before. I'm trying to go again this summer. I think they've quietly made some moves recently. How about Andrelton Simmons?
Yep.
Did they overpay for him? Maybe they get J Happ, but they're putting pieces here. A team that's going to be consistently good, and they're putting maybe a little bit more postseason, sauce there. I guess J Happ's not exactly that savvy, but veteran guys on this roster to add to Donaldson last year, the splash. How are you viewing the Twins going into this year, obviously without Lindor occupying the Central too with you?
Yeah, no, I think the Twins definitely are in a position to make the playoffs again in this upcoming year here. Biggest thing was definitely locking up Boomstick, Nelson Cruz, for you guys who don't know who Boomstick is. But that was massive. He is 42 years old or something, and he is just playing some of the best baseball he's ever played. It doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. So that was nice. Rosario is going to be tough to see him to go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
His best career numbers are actually against Cleveland, so I'm hoping those don't flip when obviously he's putting on the Indians jersey. But yeah, no, like you said, they're bringing in some veteran guys like J.A. Happ. They just signed, I'm trying to remember the guy who they signed yesterday. I believe it was another pitcher, but I don't know.
He was with the White Sox last year.
Alex Colomé.
Oh,
Colomé. Yeah.
I think it's
so shoring up the bullpen.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good addition.
Exactly, yeah. And the bullpen definitely was not good last year for the Twins. What? No, not in the stretch. I mean, yeah, they ended up towards the end of the season, but the middle stretch. Exactly. So hopefully they don't let games slide away from them because it's going to be a little longer season than the COVID season, knock on wood. So you got to be able to get those tight games and get them in the win column. So I like where the Twins are going, and hopefully they can make another postseason appearance. And I mean, Minneapolis is really, really hurting for a championship. Let's see a World Series 2021 this year.
No kidding. I would love that.
Won't be the Wild.
Come on, bro. The Wild are good. All right, so the biggest splash resided on Eddie Cordts' forehead. The St. Louis Cardinals, Arenado this weekend. Eddie, how jacked were you? I mean, we have a corner infield now of Goldschmidt and Arenado.
That is absolutely dangerous. I was just doing a little stats research before. How about Nolan Arenado, first third baseman in MLB history with 5 straight seasons of 30 homers and 100 RBIs. Is that good? Pretty solid.
That's good.
He's also the only infielder in MLB history to win 8 consecutive Gold Gloves to start his career. So definitely not going to have a liability on the hot corner.
No, not like Matt Carpenter.
Honestly, I don't know what they do with Matt Carpenter now because I don't want him at second base. He can't field. I'd rather have my guy Tommy Edman there.
He'll be off the bench.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be a good bat because we don't have the DH this year.
They're not doing the DH this year, so I mean, I guess he'll be a good pinch hitter. You know,
you got a lefty bat off the bench, but yeah, I mean, just watching the Arenado videos, and then I like loop in my head. I'm like, Carpenter lobbing one across the diamond. I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
I love that
they
they absolutely fleeced the Rockies too.
Oh, my God. Oh my God.
So I think baseball, a lot of owners are losing money. Baseball's, we love it, but it's a dying sport. You know, it's average viewers, like almost the age of Randy Corbett, my father. But we love it. It's America's pastime. The Colorado Rockies, this has been happening, and it's kind of the grift of baseball where you have the Miami Marlins grow these prospects. They had an all MVP outfield of Ozuna, Stanton, Yelich. They trade them away because their biggest moneymaker is revenue sharing. And now you've got a year where revenue sharing basically is off the table because, yes, albeit the craziest thing ever, COVID, an unprecedented pandemic that shakes the world. So teams like the Rockies, and I thought the Cardinals weren't going to spend, Matt Daus, you can attest to this too. I was worried. And then all of a sudden this past week, they're like, fuck it. Wayno, $7 million. Molina, we're getting Arenado.
So they actually didn't lie. And I have been very hard on them. I've been very hard on them for
I'm with you.
Like 2 or 3 years now. But I think this whole at least this last year, the reason they didn't really make any moves early on is because this was in their sights. This was what they knew that they wanted to do. And I've got to give them, hey, all right, you guys actually knew what you were doing. All right. But the thing is, if you look at it, they said they didn't want to up payroll much. They didn't.
No,
the Rockies
exactly.
are paying his salary this year and giving us $15 million, which means we can sign Wayno back, we can sign Yachty back, which looks like it's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
And I saw today, it looks like we're going to add another guy to the
Odorizzi, perhaps I saw
for the rotation. That's who I'd like to see. I feel like that's always been kind of inevitable because he is from just over the river.
Okay.
And I feel like we've been hearing about him for a while. So I feel like that's probably going to happen. But I saw he was mixed in the names. James Paxton. Yeah. But I think Odorizzi would be a good signing. I think we need one more veteran guy to shore up everything.
Sure.
Without Hudson, because you got young guys, and you've got the 80-year-old, you got the 80-year-old Wayno. You don't.
There's
really
a
know
big discrepancy. And a lot is resting on Kim. Yeah, I would say that the Cardinals, as much as we're adding, and now that lineup finally looks great, it reminds me of when we had Holiday there in his prime, from the Rockies. But now we got Flaherty. We got hopefully another great Wayno like he had last year. Kim again. Carlos Martinez, we're hoping and praying. God, we've hated that guy. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Matt Crusen, Cubs depleting everything. It's what happens to a lot of franchises after they win. And of course, they break the curse. So it's been your last half of the decade, right? In this rivalry, the Cubs, Cardinals. We had the first half, 11-11. You broke the curse in 16. Who just recently left? Quintana just signed somewhere else. It's been like watching everybody just depart. Lester's gone, and Schwarber, etc. But you got Jock Peterson. All is well, right?
Yeah, no, you said it. Tons of turnover. Tyler Chatwood, Jose Quintana, John Lester, Yu Darvish. That's 4/5 of the rotation. Schwarber, they did not tender. Yes, they effectively replaced, instead of paying Schwarber the $10 million, they paid Jock Peterson and Trevor Williams. I think Trevor Williams is a worthless piece of shit. But that's how they view it, as like a guy who's going to get innings for you as a number 5 starter.
Jonathan Holder was another key guy.
I'm just disappointed how they handled Lester. They couldn't even scratch out $2 million. The guy basically said he'd stay for free because he just wanted to stay there. The best free agent in their history. Just bad ending, but they're going to enter a full rebuild. The window closed very quickly. It goes faster than you think. I wish I was like more of a, Cardinals don't rebuild. You're always competitive. You guys don't necessarily, you go through phases where you're in that like kind of mediocre and you guys get really frustrated. Like you have the last few, not necessarily the last couple, but leading up to that. The Cardinals I would probably rather be like that, but that's just not how the Cubs are. They continue to operate like a small market team sometimes, even though they're not. It's pretty sad. They should always be competitive, but yeah, it could be bad. We'll see. Keep an eye on what they do with Contreras and Bryant and Baez and Rizzo. They're all 1 or 2 years left under contract, and they're all going to get traded. I got to talk about the Twins a little bit.
Sure.
They were 4th in team ERA last year. You got to remember, they only scored 2 runs in the playoffs against the Astros in 2 games.
That's true.
Pitching was fine. It really was pretty good all year because but you got to expect Kenta Maeda will regress a little bit. Maybe Barrios will be a little better. Odorizzi will be a big loss. You got to replace that. I know he wasn't that effective last year, but I'm not a big J.A. Happ fan. I don't like that they let Eddie Rosario go they basically did the same thing the Cubs did with Schwarber, just let him go. Like, who would have thought that would have happened more than a year ago? But look what the fucking pandemic did to everybody. Everyone's pensions go. But I really like the Andrelton Simmons signing. I don't know if you mentioned that time, but that gets Polanco, who's a below average defender, off a shortstop. You need a good defensive shortstop. Gets him to second base. Good re-signing with Cruz. I don't know what he's doing, but he's Tom Brady's age, just
HGH.
Performing at an absolutely elite level. Yeah, likely he's been caught multiple times, so It is what it is. But they should. The White Sox have crowned themselves AL Central champs before the season started, so I think all 3 teams will still be competitive. I don't know about the Royals or Tigers, but I think.
Hey.
That's the.
It is what it is.
So I want to talk about some odds, and I'll throw this to you, Matt Daus. The Padres, obviously, they poached Darvish, right? They're going all in. They're 3rd right now. You got the Dodgers, Yankees. They're always going to be up there. The Mets, is this because they might get Bauer? So I've seen them at the 4th. And then how shocking is this? The Cardinals are 11th behind the Cincinnati Reds at the 10th. We're getting disrespected still.
Yeah, so I think along those lines, Padres 3rd. We've seen this before.
Trendy.
I don't think you can value them that high until you actually see it work. And it actually worked last year. They didn't get all of the way there, but we've seen them go all in before and it hasn't worked. So but then so I had not realized that the Reds were still valued above the Cardinals. That's insane, because the Reds, what they did last year, I really liked how they added a lot of guys. And then they just essentially said, okay, that was a nice year. That was a nice 60 games. And they literally gave it up. I don't know how you can favor them over us now. I mean, I guess, the rotation's a little odd because of no Hudson, but still, I don't, us at 11 is a lot of value. The Mets and San Diego in the top 5, maybe not as much value.
Perfectly put. I think the Cardinals are still being undervalued. I haven't seen division lines on my book, but I would the Central's got to be. It's interesting to see. I would totally handle the Cardinals at the Central.
The Central's going to be very, very bad.
Yeah, it's always just a mush. Speaking of the Central, quickly, Matt, what'd you make of Colton Wong? Is it official that he's going to Milwaukee?
Yes.
I believe so. Cubs were supposedly talking to him, so I guess they've apparently got fucking clearance to spend a little bit of money. That it would have been. He's not a difference maker for the Cubs.
No.
So yeah, I don't really know what Milwaukee's doing. Who have they lost? Anybody in free agency? They haven't made any trades really, so they should be pretty freaking average again, but nothing spectacular.
Yeah, depending on what Yelich does. Matt Daus, that was Colton Wong was probably the last remnants we had of kind of, a prospect that we thought was going to be this great. And I don't think he's lived up to the hype that he had, but the Gold Gloves racked up.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're right. I think very under the radar the last 2.5 years, the offense got pretty damn good. So, I mean, it's a loss, but at the same time, you can pay him $18 million, or you can pay you can pay nothing to what's his name?
Yeah, I mean, you had Edmund. It made no sense to give Wong anything. You just had to move on. But we did.
This is the one thing that I am a little bit worried about is that he's always seemed like a guy who just lives off of revenge or hey, it's I just think that when he goes to Milwaukee,
he wanted to stay in the Central.
When he comes back to St. Louis, I think he's going to kill us because I think he is just you guys didn't want me, so I'm going to fucking kill you.
Right.
Type of guy.
Eddie Cordts resides in Milwaukee. We'll have to see some. You'll have to go chirp him for us.
I'll have to let you know, Colton Wong. I just want to know when the roof is closed at the new American Family Insurance Ballpark. I drove by the stadium the other day. The sign is looking beautiful.
We miss Miller though.
I just want to know, is Colton Wong going to be able to wear those shades inside, when the roof is closed? I mean, he's patented for those filthy shades on a nice sunny day at Busch Stadium.
It's a fair question. I have one last question to wrap us up here. I literally wrote this down because we got our resident T-Wolves former employee and fan. Ty, I might go live with this take. I think the T-Wolves are the worst franchise in sports right now. They are a joke. They are a joke.
I totally agree with you. And I don't see them getting any better until Glenn Taylor sells a team. And
God.
I think as long as Glenn Taylor's there, Ryan Saunders is going to be there just because of the ties with Flip. So I think it's just going to continue getting worse. And there was talks of Glenn Taylor finally selling the team. And that's
KG, right?
No, and he always said he was going to sell it, or he always said he had a deal with KG lined up, and then he snaked him. KG got mad. Sell the fucking team, Glenn. Fire Ryan Saunders. Get rid of nepotism in this town. Ryan Saunders, Flip Saunders connection. Mike Zimmer's got a kid who's the defensive coordinator, and he fucking blows. Kubiak and his son. Stop normalizing that shit. Fire them all. Keep people responsible. It's ridiculous.
I love it. All right. Have a good Super Bowl. We'll talk to you again on Monday. We'll see if it's the Chiefs or fucking, Tom Brady. Speaking of HGH, lifting up the Lombardi here. Yes, go Chiefs. Matt Daus is pumped up. Thanks for your guys' time. Eddie Cordts, Matt Crusen, Matt Daus, Ty Dalsin. I'm Dylan Corbett. Corbett's Corner on a Friday. Enjoy the Super Bowl.